The church bells tolled, each chime a dagger to Emma's heart. She stood at the edge of St. Mary's courtyard, her breath catching as she watched guests stream into the ivy-draped chapel where her best friend Lily was about to marry someone else. Her hands trembled, clutching a letter she'd written 100 times in her mind but never dared to send until now. Emma had known Lily since they were 12, two awkward girls bonding over stolen library books and dreams of escaping their small Rhode Island town. They'd shared everything. Secrets whispered under blankets, laughter that echoed through summer nights, and a closeness that blurred the lines between friendship and something deeper. But Lily was always the bold one, the one who moved forward while Emma lingered in the shadows of her own heart, too afraid to name the love that had grown quietly inside her. Now at 28, Emma faced the unbearable truth. Lily was marrying Thomas, a kind but unremarkable man who'd proposed after a whirlwind romance. The wedding was in an hour, and Emma's resolve was crumbling. She'd come to stop it, to confess the feelings she'd buried for years, but the weight of her decision pressed against her chest. What if she ruined everything? What if Lily hated her? Yet, the thought of losing her forever was worse. The autumn air was crisp, carrying the scent of fallen leaves and distant wood smoke. Emma's burgundy sweater felt too warm as she paced outside the church, her sneakers crunching against gravel. She glanced at the letter in her hand, its edges worn from her nervous grip. The words inside were raw, unfiltered. "I've loved you since we were kids, Lily. Not just as a friend but as the person I want to wake up to every day. Please don't marry him." She hadn't planned to be here. Last night, she'd sat in her tiny Providence apartment, staring at a bottle of wine and the invitation to Lily's wedding. The card's elegant script had mocked her. "Lily Marie Carter and Thomas James Ellison invite you to celebrate their union." Emma had almost torn it apart. Instead, she'd written the letter, poured her heart onto the page, and driven 2 hours to this picturesque town where Lily's new life was about to begin. The church door swung open, and Emma froze as Lily's younger sister, Mia, stepped out. At 22, Mia was a whirlwind of energy, her dark curls bouncing as she spotted Emma and waved. "You're late," Mia called, her voice teasing but warm. "Lily's been asking for you." "She's a nervous wreck." Emma forced a smile, her heart pounding. "Is she okay?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Mia tilted her head, studying Emma with a knowing look. "She's Lily. She's always okay until she's not. You know how she hides things." Mia's eyes softened, as if she sensed the storm brewing inside Emma. "Come inside. She needs her best friend." The words best friend stung, a reminder of the role Emma had played for too long. She followed Mia into the church, her legs heavy as if wading through water. The interior was a blur of white roses and candlelight, the air thick with anticipation. Guests murmured in the pews, their smiles oblivious to the chaos in Emma's heart. In the bridal suite, Lily stood before a full-length mirror, her white dress glowing against her tanned skin. Her blonde hair was swept into an elegant updo, but her green eyes were restless, darting to the door as Emma entered. "Em." Lily's face lit up and she rushed forward, pulling Emma into a hug. "I was scared you wouldn't come." Emma's throat tightened as she inhaled Lily's familiar scent, lavender, and something uniquely her. "I wouldn't miss it," she lied, her voice cracking. Lily pulled back, searching Emma's face, and for a moment time seemed to stop. The room, the wedding, the world, it all faded, leaving only the two of them. "You look different," Lily said softly, her fingers brushing Emma's sleeve. "Are you okay?" Emma's heart screamed to tell the truth, to hand over the letter and let the chips fall. But the sight of Lily in her wedding dress, radiant and hopeful, made her hesitate. "I'm fine," she managed, her smile brittle. "You look beautiful." Lily's laugh was nervous, her hands fidgeting with her veil. "I feel like I'm going to throw up. Is that normal?" She turned back to the mirror, her reflection a portrait of a bride who didn't quite belong to the moment. Emma wanted to ask why, to dig into the doubt flickering in Lily's eyes, but the door opened again, and the wedding planner bustled in, rattling off last-minute details. As the planner dragged Lily away, Emma slipped the letter into her pocket, her courage faltering. She wandered back to the courtyard, her mind racing. She couldn't do this, not here, not now. But as she turned to leave, Mia grabbed her arm. "Don't go," Mia said, her voice low and urgent. There's something you need to know about Lily. About why she's rushing into this. Emma's pulse quickened. What do you mean? Mia glanced around, ensuring they were alone. It's about our mom. Lily's been keeping something from you, something big. She thinks this marriage will fix it, but it won't. Mia's eyes were fierce, almost pleading. You're the only one who can get through to her, Emma. You always have been. The words hit like a tidal wave. A secret? About Lily's mom? Emma's mind spun, piecing together fragments of memories: Lily's strained calls with her mother, her sudden decision to marry Thomas after years of swearing she'd never settle down. What was Lily hiding? And why hadn't she told Emma, her supposed best friend? The organ began to play, signaling the ceremony's start. Emma's hand tightened around the letter. She had come to confess her love, to stop a wedding, but now she was caught in something bigger, something that might change everything. As the guests rose and the bridal march echoed, Emma made a choice. She wouldn't just confess. She'd uncover the truth, no matter the cost. Emma's heart thudded as she slipped into the back of the church, her eyes fixed on Lily at the altar. The bride stood poised, her white dress a beacon in the soft light, but her hands trembled as she clutched her bouquet. Thomas, handsome in his crisp suit, smiled at her, oblivious to the storm brewing in Emma's chest. The priest's voice droned, but Emma barely heard it. Mia's words echoed in her mind. Lily's been keeping something from you. What could be so big that Lily, who once told Emma every fleeting thought, would hide it? Emma's gaze flicked to Lily's mother, Helen, seated in the front row. Helen's face was a mask of composure, but her eyes were red-rimmed, as if she'd been crying. Emma had never liked Helen. She was cold, always pushing Lily toward perfection, but now she wondered what role Helen played in this secret. Emma's fingers brushed the letter in her pocket, its weight both a comfort and a curse. She'd written it to confess her love, to beg Lily not to marry Thomas, but Mia's revelation had shifted everything. What if stopping the wedding meant exposing something Lily wasn't ready to face? The thought made Emma's stomach churn, but she couldn't back down now. As the priest asked for objections, Emma's breath caught. This was her moment, the cliché dramatic chance to stand up and shout her truth. But the words stuck in her throat, drowned by the image of Lily's nervous smile. Instead, she slipped out of the pew and headed for the side door, her sneakers silent against the polished floor. She needed air, space to think, and maybe a moment to find Lily before it was too late. Outside, the autumn chill hit her like a slap. She leaned against the stone wall, her mind racing. Memories flooded in. Lily at 16 sneaking out to meet Emma by the lake, their laughter mingling with the sound of crickets. Lily at 20 crying in Emma's arms after her first heartbreak. Lily last year, her eyes sparkling as she talked about moving to Boston, free from her mother's expectations. When had things changed? When had Lily started keeping secrets? The door creaked open and Mia appeared, her face pale. You didn't do it, she said, not accusingly but with a hint of disappointment. You didn't stop her. I couldn't, Emma admitted, her voice raw. Not without knowing what's going on. What's this secret, Mia? What's Lily hiding? Mia hesitated, glancing back at the church. It's not my place to tell you everything, but Mom's been sick. Really sick. Lily found out a few months ago, right before she met Thomas. She thinks marrying him will make Mom happy, give her something to hold on to. But it's more than that. There's something about Mom's past, something Lily won't even tell me. Emma's chest tightened. Helen's sick? And a secret from her past? She thought of Lily's late-night calls, her voice strained but vague, brushing off Emma's concern. Why didn't she tell me? Emma whispered, more to herself than Mia. Because she's Lily, Mia said, her voice soft but firm. She protects everyone but herself. And you're her safe place, Emma. She didn't want to break that. The words cut deep, stirring a mix of guilt and resolve. Emma had always been Lily's anchor, but she'd failed to see how much Lily was carrying alone. She straightened, her decision crystallizing. I need to talk to her. Now. Mia nodded, pointing to a side path leading to the bridal suite. She's alone for a few minutes while Thomas does his vows with the groomsmen. Go. Emma's legs moved before her mind caught up, carrying her through the church's quiet halls. She reached the bridal suite and knocked softly, her heart in her throat. Lily? It's me. The door opened and Lily stood there, her veil slightly askew, her eyes wide with surprise. Em? What's wrong? You look like you've seen a ghost. Emma stepped inside, closing the door behind her. The room smelled of roses and hairspray, but all she could focus on was Lily's face, the face she'd loved for half her life. We need to talk, Emma said, her voice trembling. About you. About why you're doing this. Lily's smile faltered. Doing what? Getting married? Em, it's my wedding day. Don't. Emma cut in, her voice sharper than she intended. Don't pretend everything's fine. Mia told me about your mom. About the secret. Why didn't you tell me, Lily? Why are you rushing into this with Thomas? Lily's face paled and she turned away, her hands twisting the fabric of her dress. Mia shouldn't have said anything. It's complicated. Then uncomplicate it, Emma pleaded, stepping closer. You've never hidden things from me before. Why now? Lily's eyes glistened, and for a moment Emma thought she'd break. But then Lily straightened, her voice steady. Because some things are too big, Em. Some things you can't fix, no matter how much you want to. Emma's heart ached at the pain in Lily's voice. She reached into her pocket, her fingers brushing the letter. This wasn't just about her feelings, Anna Maria. It was about pulling Lily back from a choice that might destroy her. Lily, she said softly, I came here to tell you something. Something I've kept inside for too long. But now, I just want you to be honest with me. What's going on? Lily looked at her, and for the first time, Emma saw fear in those green eyes. Not just fear of the wedding, but of something deeper, something that had driven Lily to this moment. I can't, Lily whispered. Not yet. The door opened, and the wedding planner's voice broke the tension. Lily, we need you at the altar in 5 minutes. Lily nodded, brushing past Emma without meeting her eyes. As the door closed, Emma stood alone, the letter burning in her pocket. She wasn't done. Not yet. Emma stood frozen in the bridal suite, the echo of Lily's footsteps fading down the hall. The letter in her pocket felt like a grenade, its words threatening to explode everything she'd built with Lily over the years. But Mia's revelation and Lily's evasiveness had shifted her mission. She wasn't just here to confess her love, she needed to understand the secret driving Lily toward a marriage that felt so wrong. She slipped out of the suite, her sneakers silent against the hardwood floor. The church hummed with anticipation, the organ's notes swelling as the ceremony drew closer. Emma's mind raced, piecing together fragments of Lily's life. Helen's illness, the sudden engagement, the shadow of a family secret, it all pointed to a truth Lily was running from. Emma had to find her before the vows were spoken. She found Lily in a small anteroom near the altar, adjusting her veil in a cracked mirror. The sight of her, radiant yet fragile, made Emma's chest ache. Lily, she said, her voice low but firm, we're not done talking. Lily spun around, her eyes wide. Em, please. I have to go out there. Thomas is waiting. Thomas can wait, Emma snapped, surprising herself with her own intensity. She softened, stepping closer. I know about your mom's illness. I know you're hiding something. And I know you're not happy. Don't do this to yourself, Lily. Talk to me. Lily's lips parted, but no words came. Her hands trembled as she clutched her bouquet, petals falling to the floor. You don't understand, she whispered. This isn't about me. It's about fixing things. Making things right. Fixing what? Emma pressed, her voice breaking. Marrying someone you don't love? How does that fix anything? Lily's eyes flashed with something, anger, fear, or both. You think I don't love him? He's good, Em. He's safe. He's what Mom wants for me, what she needs to see before. Her voice cracked and she turned away, her shoulders shaking. Emma's heart twisted. She reached out, gently touching Lily's arm. Before what, Lily? Tell me. Lily took a shaky breath, her back still to Emma. Mom's dying. Cancer. They gave her 6 months, maybe less. She's been holding on to this. This idea of me having a perfect life. A husband, a family. It's all she talks about. I thought, if I could give her this, it would make her happy. It would make up for everything. Everything. Emma echoed, her mind spinning. What's everything, Lily? What's the secret Mia was talking about? Lily turned, her eyes glistening with unshed tears. It's not just about Mom being sick. It's about who she was before. She She had a life she never told us about. A life she's ashamed of. And when I found out, it changed everything. Emma's pulse raced. What life? What did you find out? Lily hesitated, her gaze darting to the door as if expecting someone to burst in. I found letters, she said finally, her voice barely audible. Old ones hidden in Mom's attic. They were from a woman named Sarah. Someone Mom loved years ago. Before Dad, before us. Mom was. She was in love with a woman, Em. But she left that life behind, buried it, because her family wouldn't accept it. And now she's dying, and she's terrified I'll make the same mistakes she did. Emma's breath caught, the weight of Lily's words sinking in. Helen, the woman who'd always seemed so rigid, so traditional, had once loved a woman? And Lily was marrying Thomas to prove something to herself, to her mother, to a past that wasn't even hers? Lily, Emma said softly, you can't live her life for her. You can't marry Thomas just to make her feel better about her choices. Lily's laugh was bitter, her eyes distant. You don't get it, Em. It's not just about Mom. It's about me. I've spent my whole life trying to be the daughter she wanted, the one who doesn't mess up. And then I met Thomas and he was easy. He fit the picture. But you, she stopped, her voice catching as she met Emma's eyes. Emma's heart pounded. Me what? She asked, her voice barely a whisper. Lily's lips trembled, and for a moment, Emma thought she'd say the truth they'd both danced around for years. But then Lily shook her head, stepping back. I can't do this right now. I have to go. As Lily moved toward the door, Emma's hand shot out, grabbing her wrist. Wait, she said, her voice desperate. She pulled the letter from her pocket, its edges crumpled, and pressed it into Lily's hand. Read this, please, before you walk down that aisle. Lily stared at the letter, her expression unreadable. I just read it, Emma interrupted, her eyes burning with tears. If you still want to marry him after, I'll let you go. But you deserve to know how I feel. Lily's fingers closed around the letter, her gaze locked on Emma's. For a moment the world held its breath. Then the organ swelled, and the wedding planner's voice called from the hall. Lily slipped the letter into her dress, her face a mask of conflict, and walked out. Emma sank against the wall, her heart in pieces. She'd done itched given Lily the letter, bared her soul. But the secret about Helen, about Lily's choices, loomed larger now. As the ceremony began, Emma knew she couldn't stay to watch. She slipped out of the church, the autumn leaves crunching under her feet, and waited for the fallout of her confession, and the truth that was still unfolding. Emma sat on a bench by the lake, a short walk from the church, the sound of the organ faint in the distance. The water reflected the golden hues of the setting sun, but her mind was elsewhere, replaying the moment she'd handed Lily the letter. She'd poured everything into those words, years of longing, fear, and love so deep it hurt. But now, with Lily standing at the altar, Emma felt like she was drowning in uncertainty. She glanced at her phone, half expecting a text from Lily, but the screen was blank. The weight of Helen's secret pressed against her thoughts. Lily's mother had loved a woman, had lived a life she'd hidden from her daughters, and now Lily was sacrificing her own happiness to fulfill Helen's vision of a perfect life. It was heartbreaking, infuriating, and all too familiar. Emma had spent years hiding her own feelings, afraid of what they'd mean for her friendship with Lily, afraid of rejection. But now she'd taken the leap, and there was no going back. Footsteps crunched behind her, and Emma turned to see Mia, her face flushed from running. You left, Mia said, catching her breath. Why didn't you stay? I couldn't watch her marry him, Emma admitted, her voice hollow. Not after everything. Mia sat beside her, pulling her knees to her chest. She read your letter. I saw her right before the vows. She was shaking, Em. I've never seen her like that. Emma's heart skipped. Did she say anything? Mia shook her head. She didn't have time. The ceremony started and she went through with it. She's married now. The words hit like a punch, stealing Emma's breath. Married. Lily was married. The letter, her confession, had changed nothing. Tears stung her eyes, but she blinked them back, refusing to break in front of Mia. I should have stopped her, she whispered. I should have tried harder. Mia reached for her hand, squeezing it. It's not over, Em. She's not happy. You saw it in her eyes. And that secret about Mom, it's eating her up. She needs you even if she doesn't know it yet. Emma pulled her hand away, standing abruptly. She made her choice, Mia. I can't keep chasing someone who doesn't want me. That's not true, Mia said, her voice fierce. You know Lily. She's stubborn, but she loves you. Maybe not the way you want it, but she does. And this thing with Mom, it's not just about the past. There's more to it. I found something in those letters, something I didn't tell you. Emma turned, her pulse quickening. What? Mia hesitated, her eyes darting to the lake. Sarah, the woman Mom loved, she didn't just disappear. She's still out there. I found an address in one of the letters, a place in Boston. Lily knows about it, but she won't go. She's too scared of what it means, of facing Mom's truth. Emma's mind reeled. Sarah was alive? And Lily knew? The pieces were falling into place, but they only deepened the mystery. Why does that matter to Lily's wedding? She asked. Because, Mia said, her voice low. Lily thinks if she can give Mom the life she wanted, husband, kids, the whole packagite will make up for Mom losing Sarah. It's like she's trying to rewrite Mom's story. But it's killing her, Em. She's not in love with Thomas. She's in love with Mia. Stopped, her eyes widening as if she'd said too much. Emma's heart pounded. With who? She demanded, though she was terrified of the answer. Mia bit her lip, then sighed. You need to ask her that. But you should know. Sarah's not just a name from the past. She's connected to you too. Emma froze, her mind blank. Connected to me? How? Before Mia could answer, a figure appeared at the edge of the path. Lily, still in her wedding dress, her veil trailing behind her. Her face was pale, her eyes red from crying. Em, she called, her voice breaking. I need to talk to you. Emma stood, her legs unsteady. Mia slipped away, giving them space, and Emma faced Lily, the air between them thick with unspoken words. You're married, Emma said, her voice flat, masking the pain. Lily nodded, tears spilling down her cheeks. I read your letter. Every word. And I couldn't do it. I said the vows, but I ran out right after. Thomas is furious, Mom's confused, and I'm a mess. Emma's heart leapt, but she held herself back. Why did you run? What's going on, Lily? Lily stepped closer, her hands shaking as she reached for Emma's. Your letter broke me open. I've been lying to myself, to you, to everyone. I don't love Thomas. I married him because I thought it was what I was supposed to do, what Mom needed. But I can't keep pretending. Not after what you wrote. Not after what I know about Mom. Emma's breath hitched. The secret. Sarah. Mia told me. Lily's eyes widened and she pulled back, her face crumpling. She shouldn't have. It's too much. Mom loved Sarah, but she gave her up because her family threatened to disown her. And now she's dying, and she thinks I'm her second chance. But I can't be that. I can't love someone I don't feel for. Not when. She stopped, her gaze locking onto Emma's. Not when what? Emma whispered, her heart on the edge of breaking. Lily's voice was barely audible. Not when I'm in love with you. The world tilted and Emma's knees buckled. She grabbed the bench for support, her mind reeling. Lily loved her? After all these years, all the silence, the truth was finally out? But before she could speak, Lily continued, her words rushing out. I didn't know how to say it. I was scared, Em. Scared of what it meant, scared of losing you. Scared of becoming Mom, loving someone I couldn't have. But your letter. It changed everything. Emma's tears fell freely now, and she stepped forward, closing the distance between them. Why didn't you tell me? All this time I thought I was alone in this. Lily sobbed, her hands covering her face. Because I'm a coward. I thought marrying Thomas would make it go away, make me normal. But it didn't. And now I've hurt everyone. Emma reached out, pulling Lily's hands away and cupping her face. You haven't lost me, she said, her voice steady despite the tears. But we need to figure this out together. Starting with your mom. Starting with Sarah. Lily nodded, her eyes searching Emma's. There's more to it. Sarah. She's not just Mom's past. She's your aunt, Em. Your Mom's sister. Emma's world spun, Lily's words echoing like a thunderclap. Sarah, her aunt? The woman her mother never spoke of, the one who'd left their family when Emma was a baby? Was Helen's lost love? She stumbled back, her mind grappling with the revelation. Lily reached for her, but Emma held up a hand, needing a moment to breathe. My aunt, Emma whispered, her voice trembling. How? How do you know? Lily's eyes were filled with guilt and sorrow. I found a photo with the letters. It was Sarah younger, but it was her. And there was a note, your mom's name, your family's old address. I didn't want to believe it, but when I asked Mom, she broke down. She said Sarah was the reason she changed her life, why she married Dad. She never told you because she was ashamed, Em. Ashamed of loving her. Ashamed of letting her go. Emma's knees gave out, and she sank onto the bench, the lake's calm surface mocking the chaos inside her. Her Aunt Sarah, the family ghost, had been more than a rebel who'd left town. Been Helen's heart, torn away by fear and prejudice. And now Lily had nearly repeated that tragedy, marrying Thomas to bury her own truth. Why didn't you tell me? Emma asked, her voice raw. You knew this, and you still let me think. She trailed off, the weight of her own unspoken love crashing into Lily's silence. Lily knelt before her, tears streaming down her face. I was afraid. I thought if I told you it would ruin us. You're my best friend, but you're also everything. I didn't know how to face that, not with Mom dying, not with her past hanging over me. I thought marrying Thomas would make it all disappear. Emma's heart ached, torn between anger and love. She reached out, brushing a tear from Lily's cheek. You can't run from who you are, she said softly. And neither can I. I love you, Lily. I always have. But we can't keep hiding, not from each other. Not from your mom, not from Sarah. Lily nodded, her hand covering Emma's. What do we do now? I've made a mess of everything. Thomas, Mom, the wedding. We start with the truth, Emma said, her voice steadying. We find Sarah. We talk to your mom. And we figure out what this means for us. The next morning, Emma and Lily drove to Boston, the address from Sarah's letter tucked in Lily's purse. The city buzzed around them, but inside the car, the air was heavy with anticipation. Lily's wedding ring was gone, left on the hotel nightstand with a note for Thomas. She'd face him later, but for now this was about uncovering the past to build their future. Sarah's address led them to a small bookstore in a quiet neighborhood, its windows lined with colorful spines and handwritten signs. A woman in her 50s stood behind the counter, her auburn hair streaked with gray, her eyes a familiar shade of brown. Emma's eyes. Sarah. Emma's breath caught as Sarah looked up, her smile faltering as she recognized something in their faces. Can I help you? She asked, her voice cautious. Lily stepped forward, her voice trembling. Are you Sarah Bennett? I'm Lily Carter. This is Emma, your niece. Sarah's face paled and she gripped the counter. Emma, she whispered, her eyes locking onto Emma's. You're Clara's daughter. Emma nodded, tears welling. And you're my aunt. The one Mom never talks about. The one who loved Helen. Sarah's eyes filled with tears, and she gestured to a small table in the back. They sat, the weight of decades between them. Sarah's story poured out. Her love for Helen, their secret romance in the 80s, the ultimatum from Helen's family, and Sarah's decision to leave rather than force Helen to choose. I thought I was protecting her, Sarah said, her voice breaking. But I broke us both. Lily reached for Emma's hand under the table, her grip tight. Mom's sick, she said softly. She doesn't have long. And she's been carrying this guilt, thinking she failed you. Thinking I'd fail too if I loved who I love. Sarah's gaze softened, moving between Lily and Emma. You too, she said, a faint smile breaking through her tears. You remind me of us back then. Don't make our mistakes. Don't let fear win. They talked for hours, piecing together a past that had shaped their present. Sarah agreed to visit Helen, to give her closure before it was too late. As they left the bookstore, Emma felt a weight lift, not just from her heart but from Lily's too. Back in Rhode Island, they faced Helen together. The hospital room was stark, but Helen's face lit up when she saw Sarah. The reunion was tearful, filled with apologies and forgiveness, a love rekindled in its final moments. Helen took Lily's hand, then Emma's, her voice weak but clear. Be braver than I was, she said. Love each other. Don't hide. Helen passed a week later, her hand in Sarah's, her heart at peace. Lily and Emma stood by the lake where they'd shared so many memories, their fingers intertwined. The future was uncertain. Thomas deserved answers, and their small town would whisper, but for the first time, they faced it together, unafraid. Emma looked at Lily, her heart full. "I stopped your wedding," she said, a small smile breaking through. "But I found us." Lily laughed, pulling Emma close. "You found more than that. You found our truth." As the sun set, casting golden light across the water, they walked forward, hand in hand, ready to write their own story, one of love, courage, and a family secret that had set them free. Thank you for listening. Like and subscribe to get notifications about next videos.